Alright, what's poppin', people? You man Zeus is back, and today I got a match of 1v1 versus Angel Ice. And at the beginning of the match, the screen was kind of flickering or whatever. But anyways, I'm not going to commentate this whole match just because it's a little bit above 10 minutes. And I want to go and play some Wizard101. But I will talk for a couple minutes and then put some music or whatever in the background. I'll see what I'm going to do. But anyways, so to start off this match, we decided to do a 1v1 uploaded to our channels. My whole strategy going into this thing, and pretty much my strategy for most 1v1s on my ice, is I try to pretty much use as many weaknesses as possible on my enemy. And the reason for that is because I don't like to use shields. Number one, because a lot of times people like to use minions, and those minions will get rid of my shields. Or people can just use a shatter and get rid of it. Now you could say that people can use an empower or a wand hit or a rain beetle hit to take off a weakness, but the way I look at it is that a person who has a weakness on him has to take it off himself. A shield that's on me, a minion can take it off. So I don't want to have two people taking off my shields. Instead I could just have one person dealing with those weaknesses. Plus I have good enough resist. My resist, I believe, is 55 to all schools. I believe I have 55 resist to all schools. It's good enough in that I don't have to use shields. But in this match, Angel Ice shows me that I should start using more shields. It's funny because I've never really, I put in a couple ice shields, but I didn't put too many, and it was a good play right there. He took out my minion, or he will next turn. But what is it called? What was I talking about? But yeah, I should start using a lot more shields, and let me tell you why in just a second. So let's say you have all these weaknesses and stuff, right? For some reason, most of the time that I've been PvPing, people will use, the frostbites, the what else? Fire dragons, rains of fire, heck hounds, things that do damage over time. What else is an example? Poison, skeletal dragon. More often than they do or for example, a double hit like a minotaur or a orthrus or a basilisk. A shield will do nothing against a minotaur or an orthrus or a basilisk. So that's why I tend to carry more weaknesses than anything, just because weakness applies to any school and it works for any spell. So it's not just for one hit burst spells, it's just for anything, damage over time, a minotaur, so on and so forth. And like I said, I was just keep putting in as many weaknesses as possible because I thought that he would be using like a lot of frostbites and so on and so forth, and maybe doom and gloom it up. But it turns out that he used the same strategy that I was using, which is well, he was going first, so he had the advantage in that like whenever he felt that he had a good shot, he can take the hit. I mean, use the Lord of Winter on me or whatever. But what was it called? Yeah, I made a mistake on my part in that I didn't have too many shields. So yeah, and my weaknesses didn't do too much anyway, because a triple blade plus infallible plus ice bubble, which I think he's gonna put up sometime soon. Weakness won't do too much to that. Like 20%, 30% is not a big deal for triple blade plus infallible plus a what do you call it? A Balefrost. It's just too much power. Plus Lord of Winter's base damage is like 1300, so it's just way too much damage to counter with a weakness. And I should have used a lot more shields in this situation. But I was also going second, so even if I did have shields, it would have been a little bit difficult. But I'm not saying that it's impossible to win for second. It's actually, if you have the right strategy, you could be pretty consistent at winning it winning it second. But a good strategy going first will always beat, a good strategy going second. Like if you have the right player going first. Not discrediting Angel Ice or anything. He's a really good player. But anyways, dang, what did I want to talk about? So over here, I decided to, like I was saying, just keep spamming weaknesses and infections. And I had put a what is it called? A Lord of Winter and a Woolly Mammoth in my treasure card deck with 20% Pierce on them, or 15%, I don't remember, instead of a Colossal. And my reasoning behind that is that, everybody knows that people normally will blade up, infallible, then hit after they have the infallible up. So like I thought that Angel would, as soon as I infallible, would put a shield on, so I can't use my Lord of Winter. So what I decided to do was that I'd put that 20% pierce on my Lord of Winter in case I was going second. And turns out I did go second, so that I would not use an infallible for my Lord of Winter, so he would not know exactly when I was going to hit. And in this case, I only had a balance blade on me or something like that, just some like really minor blade on me. But my thought process was that if I did not infallible, he wouldn't know exactly when I hit, because I'd be spamming weaknesses for a while and I'd have full pips. So he wouldn't have, you know, he'd maybe have like an idea of when I was gonna hit, but not totally for sure. So anyways, as you can see in my hand, I had a Snow Serpent, a Seraph in hand, all enchanted just in case he put up another minion, and he didn't. He was doing pretty much a foolproof strategy, which is really good on his end, like a really good strategy in that he would just pretty much keep taking off those weaknesses as fast as he can and keep that infallible up, so when I did slip and did not have a weakness up on him, he could hit as soon as possible. And as you can see over here, he was using, what is it called, empowers and stuff, doing whatever he can in his power to take those weaknesses off, and I was doing whatever I can do in my power to take those, to keep putting them on. Because going from second, you always have to be, you always have to have some defenses up, and mine at the time was only weaknesses, and that's why I kept putting those up. I don't know exactly what I was, oh yeah, I was looking for the Lord of Winter right there. But I did decide, and it's funny because we decided to hit at the same exact time. I had a balance blade on me and a pierce blade, and he had 3 blades, I think. Yeah, 3 blades plus a weakness, but he also had infallible on him. So it did a lot of damage, 3 grand. And mine ended up doing 1800 or so. So, and we both had no pips, but I also had 2 infects on me and a life dispel. So at this point, I pretty much knew that since Angel's a really good player, I knew that he would not let this win slip from his hands and that he would know exactly what to do. So you could say that I gave up over here, but I never really give up 100%. I started looking for a sacrifice. I was digging for a sacrifice because for some reason my pet wasn't healing. I thought eventually my pet would get rid of the life dispel, but it ended up not doing that. So I was digging for a sacrifice. I knew that he would doom and gloom soon, so I think I kept an ice bubble in my hand or 2. Yeah, I kept this ice bubble in my hand. And over here I'm digging for that sacrifice and end up using the infallible just in case he uses one of those, what do you call them, the black mantles on me. Because I know some people who, if they can't find like an infect or a dispel, they'll use a black mantle on you in hopes that you'll fizzle your heal. So I used that infallible, and plus there was nothing else to use at that time. So over here I use my ice bubble. And I think I start digging for the sacrifice the round after just so I can heal, go right through that life dispel. But I still had infections on me, so it wouldn't have healed much. And I had an infallible on me, which would have done more damage to me than it would have before, which is pretty counterintuitive. But it was a great match. He outplayed me. I should have had a lot more shields. And you can see me like crazy discarding right now, looking for a sacrifice. And then I said, you know what? I knew he was going to doom and gloom again, so I decided to empower and get ready to hit again if I could. So I was, as you can see, like right now I'm digging for either a sacrifice or a woolly mammoth with a pierce that you guys will see I'm going to use in a second. I was thinking about using that snow angel or a frostbite and ended up going for the frostbite because he had the tower shield on it. I wanted to get rid of it. If he didn't, I probably would have discarded all my cards looking for that woolly mammoth because it would have done a good amount of damage with the infallible plus the pierce on the mammoth plus the ice bubble that is up right now. But pretty much over here I was going to do the sacrifice, but I knew that he'd be hitting soon, so I decided to throw up that fortify, especially because he had an infallible on him. And there goes the doom. So that pretty much sealed the deal right there. My pet takes off one of his blades. But it was a good match. I mean, he played well. I should have, you know, done a lot of things. Like, if I could go back and do the match again, I would have done a lot of things different. But it was a good match nonetheless. And he's a really great player. He's a really great player. And I asked him about joining his team, Second Warriors team, and I think I'm in the team. Not exactly sure on the, you know, minor details and everything. But if everything turns out like I want it to be, and we do some, you know, PvPs in the future, maybe some team PvP like 4v4 or something, I'll upload some of those for you guys to check out. And that balance dispel right there was a really nice move. And over here he pretty much has a clean shot, so he went for the mammoth, I think. Yeah, and that pretty much ended the game. Shit, is the video over? Wow, that was quick. I thought I wouldn't have enough time to talk. But anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in a comment. Leave a rating, subscribe, and check out his channel if you haven't already. I'll leave the link in the description. I'll be uploading some more videos soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.